By the time Paul was arrested, fear no longer surprised us. We had learned that obedience does not always lead away from danger. Sometimes it leads straight into it. When he returned to Jerusalem, there was a heaviness in the air, unspoken but shared. Warnings had come from many voices. Prophecies were spoken plainly. Still, Paul went, not because he misunderstood the cost, but because he had already accepted it. When they seized him, the city erupted. Accusations flew faster than truth. Violence rose without patience. Paul stood at the center of it, not pleading for release, not shouting for justice, but steady. Even then, he spoke. Even then, he bore witness. Chains did not silence him. They clarified him. Trials followed, before councils, governors, kings. He spoke calmly, respectfully, truthfully. Not as a man desperate to escape, but as one faithful to testify. Again and again, I noticed this. Paul was never defending himself alone. He was always telling the story of grace, of resurrection, of a kingdom not built by force. And still, nothing resolved quickly. Delays stretched on. Waiting rooms replaced mission fields. Power listened, debated, postponed. Paul remained bound, but not idle. Every conversation became sacred ground. Every listener, whether willing or skeptical, was treated as someone worth truth. Then came the journey by sea. The storm did not ask permission. It arrived with violence, tearing certainty apart. Days passed without sun or stars. Hope thinned until it felt dangerous to speak of it. Yet Paul stood among them, not panicked, not defeated, and spoke words of assurance. Not because circumstances had changed, but because God had spoken. The ship broke apart. Wood splintered, plans dissolved. Survival became moment by moment. They reached shore soaked, shaken, alive. Even there, even after loss, Paul served. He gathered wood. He healed. He spoke. Faithfulness did not pause just because the story had taken a turn. When Paul finally arrived in Rome, it was not as a free man. He came in chains. And yet the gospel arrived with him, unrestricted, unhindered. People came and went. Guards listened. Conversations unfolded quietly, steadily. No crowds, no miracles recorded, just presence, just truth spoken again and again. Acts does not tell us what happened next. There is no neat conclusion, no triumphant release, no final victory scene. The story simply stops, or maybe it doesn't stop at all. I've sat with that ending longer than I expected. Why would Scripture leave us here, in waiting, in uncertainty, in an unfinished sentence? And the questions come softly now, not urgently. Can I be faithful when obedience leads to limitation instead of freedom? Do I believe God is still working when the story feels stalled? Am I willing to witness without needing to see the outcome? Acts ends without closure because the story was never meant to be contained on the page. It continues in whispered prayers, in unseen obedience, in quiet endurance. It continues in those who choose faithfulness without applause, hope without proof, obedience without guarantees. It continues in